We will be doing section F, question number 5. The data of weekly prices in USD per barrel of crude oil are given in the following table. Find the trend using the 4 weekly moving average. So 4 is an even number. So be careful about it. Month is given March, April, May. Weeks are given March में 4 weeks, April 4 weeks, May 4 weeks. And price of crude is given. So let's write the question. Week 1. You will have to leave space and write, okay? 3. One line blank. 4. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4. And again 1. 2, 3, and 4. Now, month. March 2016. April 2016. And May 2016. Now, week we have already written 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now time T. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have time T, price of crude oil 45.92, 38.50. Yeah, Fuzal, you have any doubt? 39.44, 39.46, 36.79, 39.72, 40.36, 43.73, 45.92, 44.66, 46.21, and 48.45. Let's check the data before we start doing it. 39.46 to 40.36, 43.73, perfect. 45.92, done. So this is fine. Now we'll start with the sum. So I'll just make the tables over here. Let's give some highlight. Now, first we will find out 4 monthly moving total. So what we will do is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So between 2 and 3, we will do the total. So let's do it. 35.92 plus 38, 38.50 plus 39.44 plus 39.46, which is equal to, so let's do the total. 153.32. Yeah, Lakshman, what do you want to say?
Sir, in question it is asked to find 4 weekly.
तो 4 तो किया मैंने.
Monthly है sir.
अच्छा, heading title is a issue with you. Okay. I'll change the title. The previous sum का रह गया था. 4 weekly. 4 weekly. Here also 4 weekly. Okay. So I'll change the title. Regret the inconvenience caused. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. We did the total of these 4. Now what we do is again next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 we have to take the total. So what we are going to do now is a lighter shade. Now again in the centermost, so between 3 and 4, 153.32 minus, we remove 35.92 and we add last one 36.79, which is equal to, keep the totals on the calculator only. So minus 35.92 plus 36.79, which is equal to 154.19. Then next 4. So this 2, 3, and 4. Again, I'll take a different color. Now, again, centermost is this. So now 154.19 minus 38.5 plus 39, this one, last one, 0.72, which is equal to minus 38.5 plus 39.72, 155.41. Now next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. When I'll change the color, let's go green. Okay, again the centermost. So 155.41 minus 39.44 plus 40.36, which is equal to 156.33. Next, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Centermost. So 156.33 minus 39.46 plus 43.73, which is equal to 160.60. 2, 3, and 4. Now again in the center, so 160.60 minus 36.79 plus 45.92, which is equal to 36.79 plus 45.92, 169.73. Next, again in the centermost, so 169.73 plus, sorry, minus 39.72 plus 44.66, which is equal to minus 39.72 plus 44.66, 174.67. Next, one 174.67 minus 40.36 plus 46.21, 180.52, 180.52. Okay, 52 nahi, 52. Okay, then let's highlight it. Okay, now last four. One 180.52 plus minus 43.73 plus 48.45, which is equal to minus 43.73 plus 48.45, 185.24. So these are the different totals. Now, when you go for this method, that from the total you subtract and add, be careful because one mistake can have a cascading effect everywhere. So always recheck manually, take few numbers, like you take one, two, three, four, and check whether this is correct or not. So if there is any error, you will come to know at that stage itself. I'll just wait a while for you all. Now we have to do pairwise total. So total of these two. So here we write 153.32 plus 154.19, which is equal to 153.32 plus 154.19, 307.51. Next, 154.19 plus 155.41. 154.19 plus 155.41. 309.6. Next, 155.41 plus 156.33. 311.74. 156.33 plus 160.60. 156.33 plus 160.60. 316.93. Next, 160.60 plus 169.73. 330.33. One 169.73 plus 174.67. 344.4. Then 174.67 plus 180.52. You also please write this and do it. Don't do it directly on calculator, because if then there is an error, you will not come to know. So let it be a bit time consuming because this can come for 5 marks. 355.19. 180.52 plus 185.24 is equal to 0.52 plus 185.24. 365.76. Now we have already got all these numbers. Now we move ahead to find the 4 weekly moving average. Now for that, You know, here this is 4 numbers, and here also these are 4 numbers. So we have to divide it by 8. So 307.51 divided by 8 is equal to 38.438. So 38.44. Now you have to write all these calculations over here. You have to write 307.51 divided by 8. Okay, don't just write the final answer, otherwise your marks may be deducted for presentation. That's why I'm doing these sums, so that you see how I'm doing it. So that's the same way you have to do it. 309.6 divided by 8. So 38.7. Then 311.74 divided by 8, which is equal to 311.74 divided by 8. 38.97. 316.93 divided by 8. 39.616, so 39.62. 330.33 divided by 8, which is equal to 41.29. Then 344.4 divided by 8, which is equal to 43.05. And 355.19 divided by 8, which is equal to 44.398. So 44.44. 44.40. And then the last one, 365.76 divided by 8, which is equal to 365.76, 45.72. So these are our final answers based on these. This looks really colorful. I like it. Yeah, thanks. Really, it looks very nice. And I hope you also get such wonderful, colorful marks, okay, in your exam. Now, this beginning of the chapter, there is one quote, and that quote is very interesting. I really like the quote, so I thought I'll read it for you. Imperfect prediction, despite being imperfect. Imperfect prediction, despite being imperfect, can be valuable for decision making. Can be valuable for decision making process. यानी prediction, May be imperfect, that is fine, but still it can help us to take valuable decision making or valuable decisions. Now, you would have, I think, known, and we also suffered that तौते करके एक storm आया था. Do you know this? और यास करके भी एक storm आया. Now, इसका prediction पहले से ही किया हुआ था. You remember? We were told that this storm is going to hit, and many were even tracking it live on Google कि ये कहाँ पहुंचा है. और बड़ौदा को तो वो हिट एक्चुअली नहीं हुआ, बाहर से ही निकल गया, बट तुमने देखा कितना तबाही हुआ. बट लॉस ऑफ लाइफ मिनिमाइज कर दिया गवर्नमेंट ने, लाखों लोगों को रिलोकेट कर दिया, फिशरमैन को वापस शोर्स पे बुला लिया. तो काफी चीजें वी वर एबल टू सेव बिकॉज ऑफ आवर past analysis and statistical data. We were able to predict, maybe it was a bit imperfect one, but still a valuable thing. You agree with me? So that is what is statistics all about. We have data, we analyze, and then we predict. It may be imperfect, but still it can help us to take valuable decisions. Anyways, this was just for your knowledge. It's a nice quote. Now, time series in your exam is 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, which is equal to 12. So you can see over here 12 marks, high possibility that 1 plus 1 plus 2 may be theory, and even a possibility that 3 may be a theory. So there is a possibility. Now, yeah, fifth more option है, that's right. Now, यहाँ पे theory is important. I'll also send you the theory material so that you write and prepare the theory. Now, important theory, I'll tell you to mark so that it will help you to prepare for theory. Now, first let's go to page number page number 159. Meaning and all you study, you read it on your own. Directly come to, acha, okay, let's see these wonderful graphs over here. You can see over here, these are some macro fundamentals, and you can see child mortality rate in India. Obviously, it is going to decline because medical facilities, infrastructure is really doing good in our country. Then death rate amongst newborn children in India over different years. You can see how the graph is moving. But yes, we can say that the trend. Oh, I'm sorry. This one was for decreasing child mortality. That was the death rate. Now this one is basically export versus domestic Indian IT growth. So there are two graphs. You can see how they are moving. So one was the black one, and the other one is the gray one. Almost similar kind of trend we are observing for exports and for domestic growth. Then,
હેલો સર,
yeah, the
આ એક્સપોર્ટ વાળું શું છે? એક્સપોર્ટ કરે?
IT Indian IT companies, okay, they export services. They don't export goods. Say for example, we started teaching CBSE, and then we decide that to launch online CBSE at different countries across the world, especially some of the Asian and African countries have, and even this Arab countries have CBSE board. So if I do that and I'm getting money in foreign currency, so I'll say I'm exporting services. Similar is with IT companies like TCS, Infosys. Okay, that is over here. Shall I have you, Deep?
હા સર.
Okay. Now this one, average temperature of Ahmedabad. So average high temperature, average low temperature is given over a period of 1 year, calendar year. So these are various time series data. Now, importance of time series, you please mark it. So we can know the direction and pattern. We know the variations in the future. Okay, and from and can of future can be estimated from the extent of variation in the values of series. Then important decisions can be taken from estimated value, and industrial as well as government policies can be easily framed. Two or more, okay, ऐसा plan है कि इंडिया should become a $5 trillion economy by 2025. ऐसा target है कि we want to become a $5 trillion economy. So that's a long-term target, and based on the various data available and various estimates made. Now, we don't know whether we'll be able to achieve because of this unexpected, unplanned, unforeseen pandemic. Because of accidentally, some virus got leaked from some laboratory or what all theories is just one of the theory. I don't know how true. And then this spread across, just no one estimated or predicted about this. So we don't know, but that was the target of the government. Now, two or more industrialists or government institute can make a comparative study from data of time series obtained by them. So different industries or government institute can make some comparative studies. Now, very important is the definition of time series market. And this is the definition, only one line definition. A time series is a set of observation taken at specified time periods. Okay. Now, uses of time series. In this, you please underline this. This one where there are 2 points, and the analysis of this series can be done this way is useful in trade, science, social and political fields as follows. These are all uses of time series. You read it on your own. If you have any doubt, difficulty, you can ask me. It's very easy, very simple. All these things we have already discussed. Now, extremely important for you is this component of time series. Now, this is extremely important, expected in exam. Now, first one is long-term component or trend. Now, over here, long-term component or trend, mark the first line, the variations seen in the variable of time series over a very long period of time is the effect of long-term component or trend. So if this question comes, you have to write a short note. You have to write all these things which I'm making you underline. The variable of time series is generally found to have a continuous increase or decrease. This phenomena is due to trend. Now, examples also, for example, decreasing value of rupee in the international market, although it has stabilized in last few years, increasing use of mobile phones, okay, and rising population of the country. It's a big issue with India. 2050 is estimated that we will surpass China. Then decreasing death rate. That is a good sign that the death rates are decreasing because wonderful medical infrastructure is getting developed. Maybe it will become better now. Now, the intermittent, यानी जो छोटे छोटे बीच में short term variations है, they are ignored. The intermittent short term variation are ignored as long term variation in the time series are studied in the trend. The overall changes take place in the variable of the series are considered here. So now here we have to consider the overall changes taking place in the variable of the series. The factor responsible for these changes, dhyan do please, The factors responsible for these changes produce a very slow pace of variation. For example, this is a very nice example. Number of literates are increasing in India, but this change is taking place slowly in last 60, 70 years. Generally, the cause of such variations are changing customs in the society, changes in taste and choices of people, technological changes in the industry, etc. Now, because it is long term, the trend of time series is experienced after a very long time, where long time is a completely relative term. Now, what is long term? So it's a very relative term. It depends on different type of industry. For example, an interval of 10 to 15 years is used to know the trend of agricultural yield or industrial production, whereas for sale of electronic goods, a trend of 4 to 5 years is also considered to be a long trend because technology changes at a wink of your eye. It changes very fast. So the trend in series having almost continuous increase or decrease is called linear trend. I'll underline it. The trend in the series having almost continuous increase or decrease is called linear trend, which is generally observed in most of the time series. Now, the data in economics, commerce, and trade have series in which rate of increase or decrease of the value does not remain constant. So if there is a data in economics, then the series has a rate of increase or decrease which may not be constant. There may be various fluctuations, sometimes high, sometimes low. The rate of increase in the value of such series is very slow initially, which goes on increasing slowly. So the value stabilizes after a certain interval of time and then starts decreasing gradually. The trend of the series in such a situation is said to be the trend of series. Just a minute, let me use some different color for you. The trend of series in such a situation is said to be non-linear or curvilinear. Now I'll give you an example which came to my mind. Ki, uh, using mobile services, the cost of using mobile services with data. Initially it started growing. Then it stabilized over a period of time. Okay, and after stabilization, there came there came this giant, and the name of that giant is Geo. And Geo came, and it starts slowly and gradually decreasing. Now, again, it has stabilized a bit. Okay, now we have to see how it is going to move over a longer period of time, whether it is increasing or it is further falling. Chances of further falling are more likely than it increasing because lots of competition is there. So I hope you got an idea about what is a long-term fluctuation. सबको पता चला what is long-term fluctuation? Okay, now this long-term fluctuation was actually very long. You can see कितना बड़ा paragraph दे दिया यहाँ पे because का नाम ही है long-term. Okay, component or trend. So long-term was very long. Now we go to the second one, which is very interesting. Okay, now let's proceed. Okay, now seasonal component. Now these are relatively smaller theoretical information available to us. Seasonal component, the variation, this is seasonal component, the variation occurring in the time series variable almost regularly over a very short period of time is the effect of seasonal component. The period of oscillation of such variation, oscillation that's the pendulum thing which oscillates, of such variation is usually less than a year. Is usually less than a year. It is necessary to record short-term values in the time series to study these variations. It is not possible to get the information about seasonal component if yearly values of the given variable are available. Now, seasonal component कैसे कैसे होता है? How it is seasonal? Why we call it seasonal? Affects the time series as follows. So, first one is effect of natural factors. Now, what is natural factors? Like weather condition, seasons, or weather fluctuation? Such variation occur at almost regular interval. You have seen that how temperature increased or decreased, and based on that, demand of fan, cooler, AC increases during summer, woolen or heaters or geyser, hot water geyser increases in winter. The price, market price reduce when new crop is ready, etc. So these are the effect of natural factors on seasonal component. And the second one is man-made. This is interesting, that effect of man-made factors. Now, man-made factors are what? Like festivals, then customs in the society, habits of people, etc. Like purchase of ornaments during marriages, kites during kite flying, Uttarayan festival, then uh, people going more often to restaurant or theaters during weekends, increase in purchase of clothes and gift articles during festivals, even during sale, even during sale. So these are all man-made factors. Now, over here, we denote it by, you please underline this, we shall denote this short-term component of time series by S of t. Now, cyclical. Cyclical is what? The variation occurring in the time series variable at approximately regular interval of more than 1 year are the effect of cyclical component. The variation occurring due to this component are less regular as compared to seasonal component. Now, over here, yeah, Jay, you want to say something? The period of oscillation of these variation can be 2 to 10 years. Now cyclical hai, so you can write over here 2 to 10 years. And in specific circumstances, it can be 10 to 15 years also. Cyclical component is also considered as is an important statement short-term component as the time interval of variation due to this component is less than that of the time for the whole series, which can be 40, 50 years or even more. The cycles of boom and recessions are example of these variations. So boom and recessions, they are longer period of happen over a longer period of 40 to 50 years. These variations are found in time series of trade and financial matter such as production price of item, price of shares in share market, investment, etc. Traders can plan suitably with the help of estimate of time and measures of this variation. Please underline this one. This component of time series is denoted by C, and even in long term, yeah, this one, underline this, known as capital T. Now, random or irregular component. Now, what is random? Random is like you cannot estimate वो अपने आप ऊपर नीचे randomly. Okay, random numbers is numbers where they are free from biases. They are generated on their own. Now, wait just a moment. Now, random or irregular component, the last one, the effect of irregular or random component is also seen in the variation of the variable of time series in addition to approximately regular short-term components like seasonal and cyclical, which also give short-term effect. If the value of the in the series change due to sudden and unpredictable changes, if the value of the series change due to sudden and unpredictable causes, the changes are called random variations. Now, over here, examples are given. Okay, the variation occurred due to natural disaster like earthquake, flood, or due to man-made predicaments like war, strike, political upheaval. These estimates can contain error due to this component. Now, please mark this. This component is denoted by R. So R is for regular, C is for cyclical, S is for seasonal, and L, this longer one, is long-term fluctuation, long-term component, or long-term trend. Now, this formula is very, very, very important. The value of variable of time series Y based on time T is determined with the combined effect of trend, seasonal, cyclical, and random. So this long term, then this seasonal, then this cyclical, and then this random. Now, this relationship is shown as follows in the additive model of time series. Extremely important question can come in your exam, and this is the answer for it. You have to learn this. This is extremely important. Very, very, very important. Please mark it. Extremely high chances it can come in exam. Now, over here, the last part, the seasonal component S does not appear. Now, seasonal will not appear if yearly values of the variable are given for time series. To find the effect of each component, T is found first using the given value Y. After subtracting it from YT, the residual variation show short-term component ST, C, and R. Then the seasonal component, if available, and cyclical components are found, random component is found in the end as R of T, which is equal to this Y minus. So it is just LHS, RHS thing. You need to remember this formula. This is important. Okay, now what we are doing from this Y, we are deducting T, S, and C. So what we get is R. So please remember this. This is extremely important. Now activity is given. Now you don't need to do any activity on this. Now come over here in the exercise. I'll send you the solution of all the theory questions so you can prepare. This summary is important. Please mark it and please write. This is important. Now, chapter at a glance. Now, you can see this question 4. And then this question. Okay, that's it. Question number 4 in section B, you can see all of them except 10 except 10, all are theory questions. Then over here, section C, all are theory questions. Section D, 1 to 8 is theory. So You have to do all these theory. This is really important. Rest all long sums we have already done. Where is this person gone? He's gone missing. Okay.